Hello all, it's Patrick String Cheese Brown here for week 8 of my weekly update series, talking about art in my life and all that sort of stuff in between. And this week was definitely a lot more productive with art than my last few have been. But first off, there was something I forgot to mention the last week video, is that Samantha took me out to see the Warcraft movie on Friday night as a sort of Father's Day present, or like a thank you for being a part of me and my kid's life present sort of thing. I don't know. But so that was really fun. Got to go enjoy that and had a blast with the movie. I enjoy the games and the story and stuff like that. I haven't played in a long time, but that was really enjoyable. So yeah, that was another bit of news from last week. But this week started off a little rough. I was sick on Monday and kind of been feeling iffy for most of the week. But around like Wednesday or so, I actually had time to sit down and start drawing, and I finished the robot picture that I've been working on for a while. I did the flats and all the shading and coloring and stuff like that, which you'll be seeing on the screen now due to the magic of editing. And it was a lot more fun than I expected it to be, because I honestly don't really enjoy shading all that much. It's something I don't have that much experience with, as opposed to line work and stuff. So I get more frustrated with it, but I just kind of just did it. I didn't really think too hard about it. I just kind of winged it. And I really like how it turned out. And with that sort of drive from finishing that piece, made me go back and start working on some of my older projects. I have a lot of pictures that are half finished. Like you fellow artists might understand that sort of feeling. There's a lot of things that I just haven't posted yet, which I need to work on, but there's a lot of things that I have left at a flat coloring stage. For instance, one of the ones that I worked on was the dragon, which I drew for the first weekly challenge of the sketch group that I've been struggling with lately. But it just left it as flats, because that's all I could do in the time. And I didn't really want to post it with just the flat coloring. So I went back and shaded it with the same sort of style that I did with the robot. And it turned out pretty good. It's kind of rough shading, because I don't really know what I'm doing, so I'm just kind of winging it. But I think it works out. And it makes for a more interesting product than just the flat coloring. So at least it's improving. I don't know how much it's improving versus the time that I spend on it, but it's making it better, so that's the important part. Along with that, there was one that I drew probably 3 months ago, just randomly, of this random girl with robot arms and legs for some reason, and when I colored it with the flat coloring, I just gave her a blue jumpsuit thing. And didn't really think much of it. I didn't post it. I didn't care about it that much. It just kind of sat there for probably 3 or 4 months. Until I started looking back through the stuff, and I found that one, and I'm like, you know what? That reminds me of the Fallout jumpsuit style. And so I ran with that and just added more to the line work a little bit, and colored and practiced shading more, and kind of roughly tried to do a sort of lineless style, which I'm definitely doing it in the wrong order if I want to try that style, because that's the very last step I did, was after doing all the coloring and shading, I had a clipping mask layer over the lines, and so I colored the lines in, essentially. And it's rough. If I want to try and do a lineless style like that, I don't know how I would do it the right way, but I do know my way is kind of the wrong way, because it's so much more effort, and it's okay. It's interesting at the very least. And I'll probably post both versions whenever I actually post art online. But I don't know, it's something I kind of want to work on because I enjoy how that looks sometimes, but I don't really draw in that manner. I draw very step by step. I don't know if I could figure out how to draw in a more painterly style, essentially. So yeah, it was a week full of drawing, but not drawing from scratch. A lot of finishing old stuff, essentially. Not much in the way of line work, mostly just coloring and shading, which is good because that's something I don't really work on as much as I probably should. So getting more practice in that never hurts. There's a few more things I need to kind of work on, a few more pictures and projects, and I think that's kind of why I went back and worked on these old ones as a form of procrastination, because I still feel productive, but I wasn't doing the pieces that are probably more important time-wise, if that makes sense. But yeah, it was still good practice, good progress. I feel really good about this week, honestly, because I actually put a lot of time into it. Several hours after work a few times, a lot yesterday and today on Sunday. So it was a lot of dedication. Not as much to show, I feel, for the time I put in, but it's way more than I usually do, so I'm okay with that. Other than that, let's see, I don't think there's much else that's been going on. Work's still going good. I'm going to be starting officially the new position, even though it's the same position, but the new, pay and benefits and all that sort of stuff tomorrow, so that'll be good. I still am terrible at posting art online, so that's good. No, that's terrible. For some reason, it always just, I do all the work, and then I'm like, but it's so much work just to post it online, because there's 4 or 5 websites I want to post it to, and just kind of, And the problem with that is, I just don't get that much return. So I'm drawing these kind of mostly for myself, and mostly for the videos at this point. Because when I post something online, I'll get 10 views, maybe 15. It depends. Maybe the Fallout vaguely themed thing will get more because people think it's fan art, which it turned into, I guess. Which, that for some reason bothers me more than these videos, which get 10 to maybe 15 views. But for some reason, how the videos having the little views doesn't bother me. Kind of because I'm doing these videos as a way to, as a sort of video diary in a weird way. That's not a great term for it, so I'm not going to use that, but I want to kind of be able to look back and be like, oh, so that's what I was doing that week, that's what I was thinking, that's what I was working on, because I like being able to look back on old journals that I had when I was a kid and old memories and things like that, because it makes it so much more real. So that's kind of what I'm doing with these videos. That's why I talk about stuff that's not art, because it's mostly for me, but I also kind of want to make it kind of vaguely entertaining for you guys, so who knows if I'm doing it or not, I don't know. But yeah, so posting art a little more rough, because I've already done the part that is for me. The part that is for me is making it, and drawing it, and doing practice, and learning. The part that's for the audience, I suppose, is posting it, and there's not much of an audience, so I'll have to, I guess, figure that out at some point if I want to keep doing this and build some sort of following, so we'll see. But that's enough for this week. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you next week.